Well, welcome back to the show. This week I'm just outside of Cairo, Egypt with noted anthropologist Dr. Stahl. And Dr. Stahl has been published in many journals, from National Geographic to Marvel Comics to the Berenstain Bear collection.
Women's World too.
And Women's World, excuse me, Doctor. Now, Doctor, you've been studying the ancient civilizations in this area, and you've noted, as we talked about off camera, that they had a lot of inventions that we didn't really realize that they had. Can you share with our viewers some of those inventions?
Some of the inventions would be sticks, and using those for walking. A lot of times people don't think about using sticks for walking. Most people in ancient times would burn them.
Burn the sticks?
Or hit people with them. That's something I don't ever teach my kids, is hitting stuff like that. Burning things, yes. Hitting with sticks, no. But the walking stick is very, very notable, especially in the hill countries and stuff, and climbing pyramids.
And how did they? Have you discovered how they created these sticks, or how they crafted them? Did they use did they have to harden them in fire before using them?
You know, I'm not sure about hardening. I think sometimes they would bury them in the sand. I think that provides. I mean, because sand gets really hot. You ever been to the beach and you start walking on that sand, and it just, oh man, something about like this, and you keep walking across, you're going hot feet, hot feet, hot feet, hot, and it just. And you can't even say that anymore. Your feet hurt so bad, and so I'm assuming that's probably how they hardened them. It's just put them in there, because then you don't get the charcoal on your hands, and then it gets on your face, and then it's really hard to meet girls.
That's true. Now you've speaking of girls, you talked about different dating services that these ancient civilizations use, and they really aren't that different than what we see today in 21st century America, is it?
Really not. I mean, they got the 1-800 pyramid hotline that talking about lots of. It's kind of a weird place to go, to a pyramid, to meet girls, but they've got a 92% success rate, with meeting native girls with native men, and it's just really kind of interesting. They have these once a month mummy dances, and then the Pharaoh's Ball is a really popular event. That's they got it twice a year, I think.
Twice a year.
They try and do it with a festival with the sun god Ra, and some different things like that. It's quite successful,
Now I know there's been a lot of arguing over time of who invented the pyramid scheme. Was it the Greeks? Was it the Egyptians? What's your professional opinion?
Actually, I believe it was in Las Vegas. I think that was the first place that the pyramid was born. And first there was a constructed, and I think it's a casino right now. Is the one they converted it to a casino, and then. From that point on, it just spread. I mean, a lot of people in the Middle East out that way love Americans. They love us. They love our culture. They want everything they can do with it. So they see this thing in Las Vegas, and they're like, "We got to build these things."
Yeah.
Now, granted, they did them a little differently. We use steel. They use rock. I mean, it's a little bit more primitive, but they work with rock well.
Yeah. Now, when they imported slaves to Egypt from New Jersey, was there any migration back to the East Coast from that?
The only thing I think we got is maybe some minor league prospects for the Australian rules football team that they've got in New Jersey, and I think there was something having to do with the Hoboken Generals lacrosse team that's out that way too. Something about that. There was some minor league things that way, and I don't think it was really that we really totally imported the slaves. We just had them work in the concession stands.
Okay.
And they worked at the concession stands and helped the workers that were building some of the.
Which explains why their hot dogs are so cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap labor, cheap ingredients.
Yeah.
That's capitalism working,
and
the benefits to us, the consumer.
And they brought lamb with them too, so it's lamb hot dogs. They're pretty good.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us. Next week, we're going to be coming live, special live edition on air from Atlantis. We're going to be going underwater. That's right. We're going to get our scuba certifications. And Dr. Stahl, hope to see you then.
Thanks for tuning in.